Recognized for not assuring the property was code compliant when the parking lot was reconfigured, and for not answering the question as to what the city is doing to address the non-compliance when previously asked. So what is the city doing to address the non-compliant parking lot?
I don't know that the city believes it is a non-compliant parking lot, Sally. I can't say that for certain, but I don't know that it's risen to the level of non-compliance with our planning staff or with our executive leadership team. Despite your thoughts, your concerns about it, I don't believe that our city staff finds non-compliance in the issues that you're bringing up.
So this is, again, the third time I brought it up, and I've actually brought it up prior years. And prior years, it was stated it was non-compliant. The parking lot is supposed to be lit.
And the parking lot is lit, Sally. There are lights in the parking lot.
And that includes the entrances. That was what was previously determined. A parking lot has to be lit, and it includes the entrances. And since I recently brought it up, no one has sent me that, what you have just said. I mean, this is my third time here, and you're just stating it now. It's like, put it in writing. This is what our city code says. This is how our parking lot is supposed to be lit. Because again, I did bring this up before, and it was determined, yes, entrances are part of a parking lot. And just thinking about logistically to think the city believes that you could put in a long entrance and it not be lit at all and saying, oh, we're good. I mean, it's completely dark. People drive down the street and completely miss the entrances and then back up. It's extremely dangerous. There have been some near hits. So again, if you could say staff will put it in writing why we believe this parking lot does not need to have entrances.
I will ask staff to take a look at it. And I will ask you, were these shortcomings on light, were these notable back when it was Lutheran High School or when it was other issues?
So if you recall,
I don't, Sally. It's been 13 years.
No, it was recent that you, as a city council, approved the change in the parking lot. There was one entrance for the park and the school. There was another entrance for the school, but there was one entrance that the city pays to light. So Darl Farouk has one entrance. Well, it's now an exit. It's actually now an exit that's lit, that's the city pays for. Then it was reconstructed where there was another entrance put in, and then the other previous, the south end, that was there before and it wasn't lit, but they had a lit entrance because the one that was there was an entrance and an exit, and the city council changed that to an exit. So there now is no lit entrance because of the reconfiguration of the parking lot. And at that time, staff, your staff is good and they know, and so it's really confusing why at this point, when this reconfiguration happened, staff went and said, wait a minute, there are no lit entrances. Again, the one lit entrance that the city pays to light, that was the Smith Park entrance, is now an exit. So this building has no lit lighting for their entrances.
I will ask staff to look into it.
Okay.
And if the answer comes back that they don't believe there's not non-compliance doesn't exist, we'll have settled this, correct?
No, I'll come back because that makes no sense. I mean, for you to not drive over there and go, okay, something's wrong with this. Because
I'm just saying, Sally, I trust our staff's recommendation and their interpretation of this reconfiguration, all that you're talking about. I trust them. That's what we pay them to do, is make those recommendations and to make those evaluations for us.
Again, I have the data where they said that they're supposed to be lit because the entrances are part of a parking lot and a parking lot is supposed to be lit. If they change that, of course, it will be scrutinized like, okay, why are you saying that now when previously an entrance is part of the parking lot and it's supposed to be lit? So it's like, okay, why are you changing that now? Yes, I will scrutinize it because it makes no sense, especially for the safety aspect of it, where I'm watching cars miss that entrance because there is no lighting.
Thank you
All right.
for the safety at Darl. We're at 5 minutes. We're not going over. Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Matthew.
Yeah, if I can ask a favor, can you just give me like a 30-second warning before my time's up? Just
I will do that. Yep.
okay. Because
Oh, yeah, yeah. We need you up at the table. We need you to identify yourself for the record. We need you.
I can, there's something I have to play in order to,
I would like you up at the table if you could, Matthew. This is how we do it here.
okay. I'll bring an extension cord next time, I guess. 1 second. Okay. So this changes a lot about my speech because I thought I had more time and then also I needed that, but I'll do what I can. So bear with me because there's a huge chunk I have to cut out. Okay. So I'm here, not necessarily against the water park, but since I don't really feel like I'm going to be able to convince you otherwise, since you've pretty much voted unanimously for it up until this point. So I'm going to be here to try to mitigate what I can. Keep in mind that 555 is basically, the mall is basically mortgaged 49% of the property to JP Morgan. So it's pretty razor thin margin here. But if we must still be in a favor of whatever it takes to keep Mall of America relevant, to evolve it, to draw people back in different ways throughout the water park, then bet on the outdoor recreation economy. Smashing $1.1 trillion last year, it is the largest industry in the nation behind healthcare and finance. I sent earlier today, I sent a few sections. It looks as though none of you have it, which is unfortunate. I didn't have time to print it out for you. Check out the comparing profits section. Demonstrates the utter mockery it makes of water parks. My favorite might be how Afton Alps made 11 million more than every water park the biggest player in the business owns combined. So how do we hedge our bet? First, we collect the stormwater that continues to threaten the mall with flooding. By blanketing the campus with structures destined for solar panels so that the runoff skips past cars entirely into a separate stormwater system, we can still move closer to realizing that community solar farm tomorrow while incorporating the water today. If we use the future sustainability funding, we can easily acquire those panels year after year after year, row after row after row. Just 4 of our annual 34 inches of precipitation would be enough for the mall to provide itself with an equivalent amount of water to the North Carolina Whitewater Center. Able to artificially create up to fearsome Class 5 rapids. It can be run from everything from full-size rafts to sheer bravery. Check out the Seeing is Believing section in the notes. Every attraction can be made modularly and can change daily, like a rock wall. Using the same kind of concrete that the REI rock wall is made out of, we can create an experience a Midwesterner would have to fly hundreds, even tens of thousands of miles away to find. Until we get high-speed rail, which the mall could amplify its tree planting sustainability effort by 15,000 times by lobbying on our behalf for it, this is the next best option. Where canyoning uses natural water slides, cliff jumping, rappelling, and with the backdrop of thundering waterfalls, picture perfect for marketing, it must be seen to believed. Again, check that section when you get it. Rock climbing, ice climbing, bungee jumping, and even mountain biking are all possible within this facility. By renting a removable battery for the electric motors outside the park, they fit neatly into a wider network of alternative transport and divert millions of dollars away from a redundant parking ramp to reduce the dependence on our $9 million road infrastructure. 555 is so enamored with testimonials such as, I can really feel that chlorine in my lungs, and being able to breathe from a company trying to install a retractable roof in Minnesota, it forgot the cardinal rule of real estate. Location, location, location. 2,400 feet away from a runway, the airport would once have to be forced to install sound abatement to make the site even livable or even knock it down. I would play for you a clip here of 90 decibels, which is what you can hear if you just stand at the site where they're going to build this building. It's very easy to tell. It's obnoxious. It's incredibly loud. There's no way that any guest is going to enjoy this experience with an open roof at all. So maybe instead insulate sound with a living roof, ceiling, and walls. Water parks lose 1% of their water volume a day. An open roof exacerbates this and eliminates the possibility of a platinum LEED rating other pools or other indoor pools in municipal water parks, which if Lohman was here, I would tell him, such as the East Portland Community Center, have already achieved. The reason why aiming for this high of a sustainability sticker matters is because it can also pay for itself as quickly as 2.5 years. If we pitch the roof like Copenhagen, Denmark, a flood of natural light will still come through while bringing the sports most affected by climate change. Hardy native grasses will allow for year-round skiing and snowboarding. The absolutely wild sport of grass skiing needs to be seen to believe. Again, it's a ski with tank treads. And if it seems ridiculous, on top,
30 seconds.
on top, all right, fine. I'll just have to come back because there's so much more. But there's hope yet. 555 is running from losing the mall to Morgan and relying on our belief that they are an economic lifeline too big to fail. If we want a real contingency plan, turn it on its head, the mall needs to deed the water park back to the city and bond its construction, just as it did for Sears. We then lease it back for $15 a year for 100 years. Finally, every LEED Platinum metric, if I was able to go through it, would have been addressed, save one. Bring all project stakeholders together early in the design process to optimize sustainability and efficiency. It is hard to believe that we are trying to do better when we ignore or hide expert advice from 3 doctorates, 2 engineers, and other highly qualified experts on the Sustainability Commission. Show us we are doing better by including them in every public hearing moving forward. Thank you.
Stop. Sitting right here. You don't have to yell. Thank you, though. Thank you.
But I'll be back.
Cheryl. Cheryl?
Okay, read everything. Thank you. Yeah, hi.
Good evening. Welcome.
I've been living in Bloomington 34 years. I'm a mother of 5, 55, 48, 49, and twins 45. 17 grandkids. Anyway, what I want to talk about is the harassment by the Bloomington police for the last 10 years. Grandson stuck in the system for his addiction, never was sent to a treatment that helped him. Any place they sent him, they sold drugs there or they were doing drugs. He has been thrown in jail, in the hole, has medical issues, and has high blood pressure, heart problems, and he was ignored. In the past, had talked to Mike Hartley, that used to be the chief of police. Never any help. Raids to the house, guns drawn, surrounding the house, barging in, telling us to stay in the kitchen, breaking things in the house, totally messing everything up. Nothing ever found. June 1st, 2023, 5-6 squads in the dark, parked by my husband's house. Neighbors have cameras and saw it all. Had to be around 7 a.m. in the morning, also walking around the house, came barging in on my husband's door. He's 83 years old, has a walker and blind in one eye and can't see out of the other. Said, let me in. And he made it over to the door, he let him in. Big scene inside. A granddaughter was there who has an addiction. 2 cops, 3 squads like she's El Chapo. My husband also a wreck, closing shades, locking doors, not from criminals, but from Bloomington police. Always looking in our mirror to see if we're being followed. Police should be held accountable. I have no respect for them at all. Go after criminals, not killing people. They haven't had a warrant. And there actually should be a class action suit for these people that have been abused. June 2024, another granddaughter, ready to have her baby, followed from the Bloomington police, from West Bloomington to East Bloomington, because she was hemorrhaging. And it's because it's her brother that has the addiction. The next thing wanted to mention, my mom, Lily Richards, was killed in a police chase, August 28th, 1992. 2 teenagers had stole a 79 Cadillac 2 weeks earlier. My mom going to my brother's in Blaine for the weekend, 15th and University Northeast. The Cadillac hit my brother's black truck. My mom's side of the truck hit a tree, killed her instantly. The police were not held accountable. And that's pretty much it.
Thank you. Thank you for your comments. I hope you understand, and I've talked with Chief Hodges about this, and I understand there's an ongoing investigation. It's an ongoing
Yes.
criminal matter. So I apologize. We're not going to ask questions. We're not going to.
Over addiction, and they have no anything else against them.
Understood. But I hope you understand. We can't comment on it given the result.
No, okay. Okay. I just-
Okay. Thank you. Appreciate that. Sheila.
Hello, my name is Sheila Berry and I live on 84th and Nicollet. This is the Police Code of Ethics. It is an officer's duty to serve mankind, to safeguard lives, property, to protect the innocent against deception, the weak against oppression and intimidation, and the peaceful against violence or disorder, and to respect the constitutional rights of all people for liberty, equality, and justice. So I had actually a lot that I wanted to say, but since we cut it down, I'm going to have to take out a couple pages, but it was really pertinent to what I'm about to say. I moved to Bloomington in 2008 to be closer to family. I purchased a home. I was proud of myself and how far I had come. I worked on my house as I could afford it. Then my world was rocked by addiction. My 24-year-old son became addicted to meth. My nightmare kept going by raid after raid on relatives' homes. Even though my son didn't live there, Bloomington police broke apart our homes, destroying what took years of hard work. It came in June of 23 when, and this is before the raid, I spotted a drone coming down into my backyard. Over my privacy fence, they were spying on me. I believe it was, in fact, the Bloomington police. That is an invasion of privacy and against my rights. Bloomington police also enlisted my local garbage company, Randy's Garbage Service, to pick up my garbage, trash, and deliver it to them to be searched. This was also illegal because my garbage cans were on my lawn, which is not city property. Garbage was also picked up at another resident that my son frequents. That home is known as a drug house. I believe that the Bloomington police checked both residents' garbage in together because they were collected at the same time. They found traces of drug residue on a cigarette pack and used that evidence to obtain a search warrant for my residence, where my son does not live. The brand of cigarette was not a brand that anyone in my home or my son smoked. Another fact that Bloomington police used false information to obtain a search warrant for my home. On the morning of the raid, SWAT showed up in full force to my home at 7:30 a.m. My dog started barking, and I was sitting on my back deck when I went into the kitchen and saw the police from my open window. I said, "Don't shoot my dog." I have two front doors. I opened the first door so the police could see me through the glass. As I was trying to grab my dog, they immediately busted through the storm door, causing it to break in my face. I immediately picked up my large dog. I was told to put her in a car on a hot day. This is animal cruelty. Police came inside. I was being held outside, handcuffed and being shook from side to side by a female officer screaming at me and being rough for no reason. I was being calm. At that time, I was being calm at that time. I have emphysema and I was having difficulty catching my breath from carrying my large dog to my car. At that moment, I yelled out to them and said, "There are children inside my home." My 6-year-old grandson was awakened by AR-15 rifles pointed at him. He was terrified and still is to this day. My son was already in custody. The warrant was for his arrest for probation violation, not a violent charge. The Bloomington Police Entry Team continued on a destructive path through my home and went down the stairs into my basement and found locked doors. They kicked in my bathroom door where my 12-year-old daughter was taking a shower and pulled her out naked and only gave her a towel to cover up. The door to my bedroom was locked. My cousin's bedroom door was unlocked, which also leads to my bedroom second door, which was also locked and has a dresser against it. My cousin, who sleeps naked, was handcuffed and left lying there for 15 minutes before officers physically dressed him themselves, humiliating him. Officers kicked in my bedroom door, causing my dresser to tip over and spilling out. The dresser is where I stored my first firearm under my clothes, when the police entered the room and they began searching. They threw everything all over the place, destroying my belongings, putting holes in my walls. My second firearm was a home defense shotgun stored under my mattress. Both guns were behind locked doors. The Bloomington police found no drugs in my home. I repeat, the Bloomington police found no drugs in my home.
Sheila?
Yeah,
I'm sorry, we're at 5 minutes now. We're gonna have to move on. But as I mentioned earlier, I know this is an ongoing concern, an ongoing investigation. So we're not able to comment or ask questions on this, just to protect the integrity of the investigation.
nope, that's fine. I will come back next week to finish my letter.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mark?
I was just getting to the good part.
All right, good evening,
Evening.
city council members and city administration. Thanks for listening to us tonight. I'm here to talk about the on-campus field improvements for Jefferson and Kennedy. My name is Mark Morrow. I'm a 16-year resident of Bloomington. I have 2 children that go to high school at Jefferson. And I'm speaking as a representative for the Jefferson Athletic Foundation, also known as JAF. JAF is a 501c3 nonprofit that provides supplemental funding to all Jefferson High School athletic programs through their respective booster clubs. Funds are raised through charitable gambling partnerships with 3 Bloomington restaurants: North Star Tavern, Carmine's, and Full Tilt Tavern. Funds raised are used to enrich Jefferson sports programs to purchase items such as new uniforms, extra coaching, cold weather gear, and replacing or upgrading of equipment. Since JAF supports all athletic programs, we also come to you with overwhelming support for the on-campus field improvements. We believe these improvements are consistent with the city's strategic initiative. Bloomington, tomorrow, together. I bet you guys have heard of that. We heard on more than one occasion while participating in the planning commission meetings, the importance of having a place for families to gather. These on-campus field improvements will do that. Unfortunately, comparisons to other high schools occur, and there is a perceived lack of investment in Bloomington. In the case of certain sports, such as girls and boys soccer and lacrosse, track and field, and football, every other team in the Metro West Conference has a significantly nicer on-campus field. This is Chaska, Chanhassen, Benilde, St. Louis Park, New Prague, Waconia, Orono. These high schools have all successfully built up their high school campuses, their home fields. Improvement to Jefferson and Kennedy's on-campus fields will provide student safety, where our kids would not have to travel for home games. Our band can literally walk out of the high school building and onto the field during home football games and not have to take a bus. School administrators have a place where the entire school can gather if they need to vacate the building for whatever reason, where everyone would have a place to sit. Improvements to Jefferson and Kennedy's on-campus fields will provide a more welcoming campus experience, a home field, a unique school brand, Go Jags, an opportunity to improve the high school presence in our community. Improvements to Jefferson and Kennedy's on-campus fields will provide spectator safety as well, where access will become ADA compliant. This is especially true at Jefferson today, where there are students, siblings, and grandparents that make use of a walker or a wheelchair, and they cannot gain access to the existing bleachers to watch a game because the bleachers are located at the bottom of a grassy hill where no trail exists. Strong cities and strong schools go hand in hand. Bloomington residents have spoken with the renewal passage of the Site and Innovation School referendum in 2022. Investing in our schools and students is important to our community. I want to share, there was an article actually a piece that was done by both the St. Cloud Times as well as Care 11. This goes back to the fall of 2019, where actually one of the schools that the football team played against this year, St. Cloud Tech High School, received a brand new field. This is just a quote from the Care 11 piece. We've played in a bunch of different spots. St. Cloud State. We've been to St. John's University, which are beautiful spots, beautiful places. This is said by head football coach John Benson of the St. Cloud Tech High School. We have just never had that home field, that home vibe. And now we've got kids coming out of the building and walking to the stadium. It feels pretty electric to feel like we are at home. The students at Bloomington, yeah.
We're running right up against time here.
Yeah, very good.
Please.
The students at Bloomington High Schools deserve the same opportunities and facilities that other high schools enjoy. Investment in our high schools do increase both student and staff morale, bring growth to the campus culture, and create a sense of excitement within the schools and the communities. Thank you.
Thank you. Like we had a couple of speakers go a bit short, so we've got 3 minutes left. I know there's a lot of folks here who wish to speak. Do you want to flip coin, do rock, paper, scissors to see who could fill up this 3 minutes for us, or anyone want to come forward? Pardon?
We have a couple head coaches in our midst.
Bring them on forward. Happy to hear from them. I know we've got an athletic director as well.
Yes.
Why don't we heard from Jefferson, we heard from the Kennedy athletic director. We've got, like I said, 3 minutes here, and
John Anderson, Activities Director at Kennedy High School, 47-year Bloomington resident, lived here my whole life. Mark talked about some of it a little bit, and I'm going to go quick, and Tim knows me, I can't speak longer, shorter than 3 minutes, but one of the most profound things I did in my life was be part of the Bloomington core planning team that developed the strategic plan. So many of you were on it, I'm very proud of the mission to cultivate an enduring, remarkable community where people want to be. Our core values, the transformation will come through collective courage and willingness to take risks. Everyone benefits when there's an equitable access opportunity. In those meetings, we talked a lot about wanting to have places for people to gather, and the courage of our city to do the things that are for the betterment of our entire community. I don't believe in anything stronger than I do the impact that these stadiums could have on our schools and our communities to bring us together. It's a chance to build a gathering spot that isn't going to cost the city of Bloomington a dime. And I know the impact it'll have on our students at both schools and our community as a whole. So I urge you to support this on the 1st. Thank you.
good, thank you. We are at time, and if you've looked at our agenda tonight, we've got a mega agenda downstairs as well. So I want to thank everybody for speaking tonight. And again, encourage you, July 1st, there will be a public hearing on this. And encourage you, if you'd like to speak, please call ahead or just show up and sign up, and we'll get you up there. You'll have 5 whole minutes on this topic, and you'll have your opportunity to be heard then. But thanks very much for coming tonight. I really do appreciate it. Council, we're at our time. I would look for a motion to adjourn our listening session.
Second.
Motion and a second to adjourn tonight's listening session. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned. We will see you downstairs. Again, thanks much.